of them made the quarterfinals. Only one of them is going to go beyond that after Nip took out Astralis, and it started off so well for Dignitas, but they came up very flat on their map choice. Nuke, it's Mirage. This should be a very good map between the two of them, I have to say. And it's going to be a defuse kit on Snappy along with the smoke. Everyone else on his team with armor. But we've got smokes on the T side and already an indication that it's going to be an execution onto the A site, which means Glaive's under pressure. He can't find the headshot. He's got a smoke that lands behind him at the top of connector. And that means they're going to push them back into it. So they've actually pushed the TTs into a smoke they designed so that way they don't need walls of smoke. They just need map control, and they're getting it. They're getting it aggressively, but Freeze, he'll get a shot back into Config. That's Cajun B, again, who's going to go on the hunt, and he gets a kill for it. He's got Glaive in the window. He's been playing very well this series, Cajun, and he's going to bait them in a little bit further. Madi checks. They know he hasn't left jungle. Rubino's got Madi down, though. I think he just switched to burst fire by accident there at the end, but either way, it's going to be Freeze. 1 versus 2, bomb ticking furiously. He's got a kit, taps it, knows Rubino's toward a ramp, but doesn't know Magic's boys out toward Catwalk.
Lovely round there from Dignitas. Quite simple. We normally see the standard smokes from the terrorists on the pistol now. Maybe one towards the steps, one on top of, one by jungle, one on top of the steps, maybe one towards spawn. This time we had the spawn smoke, but then we had the one towards connector as well. Like you said, allows them to focus and actually get in towards jungle and challenge the CTs rotating over with those close range Glocks as well. Makes it a bit of a difficult situation for the CTs. They lock down the initial kills and pick up this pistol here. So Dignitas 1-0 up. There will be a force buy from the CTs going into round number 2. Modi going aggressive though in towards Palace. Rubino holding quite a common angle here, just waiting. Oh, this could work out. Oh, okay, I was going to say for Modi that could actually work in his favor, but Rubino adjusts, takes him down, and at this point the terrorists don't really need to commit. Glaive, he wants to give the CTs a second bite of the cherry here as he goes back into the Palace himself.
Freeze takes out the vent. Probably Snappy. Tries to distract potentially for whatever reason, but it's over toward B. Glaive can actually push and find Rubino, so they're still fanning it across the map. They won't pull a flip side and walk into a stack. They'll try and evaluate exactly what's going on with this CT side that remains with 4 in action as Freeze has a P250. Snappy's actually just going to rotate back and watch off to this catwalk position as well, but a very timed and disciplined round from Dignitas. They pushed back the player inside of Palace as well. That's Glaive that's gone to CT, and with 2 players getting ready to jump out from there, Bomb slowly heading on to that position, the A side of the map as well.
This used to be a very hit-and-miss map for Dignitas. When they didn't have the AWP role established, it was MSL who was trying to do it, and before we had Pimp as well. And the days of Nico seem so long ago now. He was allowing them to at least have an AWP on this map. But since the addition of Cajun B, you'd expect them to be much stronger. And it has shown they are improving on this map. And it's going to be them making their way towards the CT spawn area. They're taking down Glaive. The round is pretty much over at this point. The CTs with the body armor trying to work out what options are available here. But a Config shutting them down and taking the possibilities away. Okay, nice shot.
The CZ-75 just sounds like someone spitting at you now. But Magiska's going to fire back and take down Volda. It's going to be 2 rounds for Dignitas off the start. T-side pistol, something we never saw in Nuke. So already we've got differences in this game. And I think between this map, it's a lot more of a known entity. It's not a custom. I think we'll see some faster gameplay out of these 2 teams in this one.
Well, it's another map that opens up the options for methodical play like we saw on Cobble, for example. It's not proven to be the brawl we saw in the French derby at all, but still, it's a much different game of CS being played, and one I still enjoy to watch. I love seeing the teams, the way they dissect maps and actually use their utility to gain them map control instead of just barging their way in there. It's going to be config, though, with the UMP. Unarmored players for now, not a single thing purchased by the CTs. This is a pretty simple procedure for the SMGs to pick up some more cash here. So it's them who are trying to focus on getting those extra injections of money.
Volda just jumping over apartments, pretty straightforward. It doesn't really need announcement, to be fair. Everyone knows you've got to get the information somehow. Config is going to push back Snappy here as they start to walk up. He's just barely going to use that jump mechanic to get around the corner on Catwalk. Smoke will land in window. We've seen an odd number of misses on that throw throughout the weekend. From box as well, not from T-spawn, which is the harder one. Config in. UMP, as you said, no armor. It's going to take Snappy down. They wrap toward bench, and Glaive, low HP on Config. Let's at least catch 1 kill back for the CTs. 2 players remaining, both inside the checker room. Missed thrown Molotov, but just going to be careful because he's going to get caught in the flames of his teammate, which actually helps Freeze. He'll go down to MSL in the end, and with the 2 AKs still in hand, they should be able to upgrade without too much trouble and get ready for Heroics Buy. Now, Heroics Buy, let's talk about that because Freeze has gone to the AWP right away.
Well, let's talk about it, Matthew. It's going to be Freeze. He didn't force buy in a second, so AWP for him. Not known to be the flashiest orb, but he has got a very decent spawn here. We haven't seen many orbs go towards the Palace area. With this kind of spawn, he definitely could justify it. Just going to be holding out towards CD spawn, though, and seeing whether he can get the first pick. It's going to be a default from Dignitas to kick things off. You can see Modi. He opted to get more grenades here with the famous smoke grenades, 2 flashbacks. Not a single kit purchase, though, Matt. That could be a massive factor here. Dignitas known for their executions on this one. See whether they can get a plant down and get themselves in a fantastic position going forward. They've kept a UMP as well. And you see them setting up right now as Config smokes in. Taking control of middle completely here.
Counter push from Catwalk right now, though. There's a chance that Snappy's just going to time this. If they can contain them in middle, they might have position inside of it, but if they can't get someone inside of the ladder room or connector, then there's a chance that they can counter peek this. The problem is Snappy staying so passive that they have now got that ladder room, which means window is gone, which means Glaive's got to rotate back, and that opens connector. So you can see how much ladder room really changes things for the CTs. However,
exchange, yeah. Glaive gets the advantage here. And around, they're up against the ropes. He goes under 15 HP, but Dignitas has still a lot of room to work with here. You can see Rubino, he's towards the end of Palace, and they have got control of connector as well. Bomb homing in. Looks like it will be an A-sided attack as Modi makes a footstep there. Rubino would have heard that. You can see him starting to move off the side of it, but occasion beat flashes towards short, and this will be an A-sided attack as they Molotov towards short to give them some room to breathe.
Freeze just desperately wants someone to walk into that crosshair placement on the A site, but it's Modi that's going to not hear a player come down on top of him. I was sure he would have heard Rubino with the 2 steps before he fires on that ladder, but he gets the kill. Cajun's going to follow it up, and they get the safe plant. Glaive, he does have the spray down, but not the kill. It's fired back in return, and Rubino is going to save the bomb planter. MSL on 2 HP, who manages to get all the way out toward connector. Cajun's been spotted, but Volda, it's 24 HP for Cajun. Sure, it's a double peek, and doesn't even matter. Cajun's got a lovely shot from the AK to make it 3-0.
Nice little team kill there for no reason. Interesting. Must have been very low HP. We didn't see it from our side, but still, it is a clean round for Dignitas there. Heroic, after getting the first pick, you could see them struggling. Like I said, once the bomb was planted as well, not a single kit on the Heroic side. There always were going to struggle slightly in that situation. Dignitas going for the mid control. That Molotov towards short was key as well. I mean, CTs can't face at all, regardless if you've got an AWP or an M4. You can't stop them going in that connector area. 3 of them barge onto the side. There was just too much for the CTs to hold off as well. That Shadow player getting shut down by Rubino as he came out of Palace. Very well coordinated, and it's to be Config kicking things off in round number 5. Should be a 5-0 here. After you lose the initial gun round, for the CT side, it's very common to go full eco on number 5 here. So pushing in for some bit of info. I think I saw a player towards the B apartments of the CTs. That actually is going to be Vald.
Freeze just checking out what's going on inside of middle. MSL, he'll go back up and, much to his delight, have less troubles sometimes toward that B apartment because Magisk Boy's already found the kill on Tamati. Rubino waits for any aggression at Palace, and Dignitas just finding kills left, right, and center. Aplenty. They're going to be up to 5 rounds on the T side of Mirage already. That seems like a lot to start off when you really consider that it is Mirage, but at the same time, it is pistol and first gun, and we know how much that can do for anyone, and it can be equaled by Heroic when they get to that side. But let's focus where we are now, and where we are now is Snappy in a 1 versus 5 with 100 HP on all 5.
Not bad.
I think he's got it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Here we go. That's the start we needed. He gets the kill, but doesn't receive the weapon. But he doesn't even want it at this point. Apparently not. As Config does take him down. It's going to be a 5-0. What a fantastic start here. The 3rd and final map of this best of 3 to qualify for the semi-finals. NIP have already done it today. So is G2.
Yep. So is Cloud9.
So is Cloud9. And now,
I know Moses is very delighted about that. He's made a point of telling us multiple times.
He has. It's nice of him, isn't it?
It is nice.
Double orb setup here for the CTs. Change of pace from what we saw in the first gun round, but they were up against the ropes for sure. They didn't actually have much to work with in that one. So this time they have got the kits, the grenades, Snappy, and Freeze on the AWPs. We'll see whether they're going aggressive, trying to hunt for a pick here. Actually going to be Val towards the B apartment. Snappy aggressive on short with that AWP, and Freeze is in the connector. So this is a much different setup to what we saw in the first gun round. Glaive needs to find some form as he has got confrontation towards connector. He gets a headshot in though.
And MSL, he's going to try and push them back in toward that jungle with the spray, but he needs to be careful in this because they don't have a read on catwalk. You can see him swinging back and forth again as he wants to get the information. It's Config, though, that might get... Whoa! I thought Glaive was going to get impatient when he started running, go directly into that, but it's Vent. Fool me. I'll admit it, I bought, but either way, Config's made it in toward the window on the back of that, and now we can start to divide up these CTs. Freeze, he'll be the first one spotted. Scopes in, nearly reacts in time. A very fast shot indeed, and that one's successful. He's got MSL down. Config left in the open. Freeze, he's around the corner. He fires toward Palace. That nearly leaves him vulnerable to Magisk Boy, but it's Madi instead that'll find Rubino. And he's done a fantastic job, Freeze, of just staying alive. He will eventually go down, but it's the man advantage for his side. As bomb planted by Cajun Beat. You can see the communication between the two. He wants Magisk to just sit, wait, and cover Connector because he's going to try and back out using the box as coverage toward a ramp. He's actually smart about this. He knows he can't get there without full exposure towards CT, so he'll stay sandwich. And they've still got to commit to the site to find him. Good boost up, good jump up, and they find both kills immediately. That's going to be reset potential, though, with only 3 players. Well, I say only. It's a majority of players surviving, so they got 2 ops.
Yeah, nice work there, especially from Freeze as well. We don't know him to be that close-range AWPer, but he steps up, misses a couple, but the shots are really counted. He nails them, and his teammates set up for a successful retake there in the 3-on-2. Dignitas focusing primarily towards middle, then the connector area as well. It did some initial damage that helped out towards the end of that situation, but keeping it calm, retaking together, and making sure they're as efficient as possible. They take down 2 kills, and like we said, saving the all-important AWPs going forward. So the reset potential is certainly still there, Matt. You can see 3 players on $7,000 after the reinvestment, 2 on plus 2,000. So the money will be okay going forward. It definitely will be an eco, but it might not be a double.
And then back to Freeze. We go from a replay to live action, and the live action not worthy of a replay as he misses the shot, and they cross over to box at middle. Valda's nade a little bit early for Config's movement as he gets down toward the key cubby. Watch that position. Bounce flash toward Cinders will push Valda back again. They're going to get this ladder room. They've got to do something about this mid-control that Dignitas keeps trying to seize and take from them. This time they're going to wrap all the way around the cat. 1-for-1 trade needs just snappies in the site. That double op setup. One of them's gone. One of them's missed a shot to allow all this to transpire potentially, although it's hard to rule it down to just that. But it does leave Glaive in a position to try and pull one back. He's vulnerable, though. Rubino wraps in the site. Madi is left in a 1 versus 2. He's got a kill in this already. Smoke off. Rubino's low. He's going to try and catch them off. Cajun's planning. He could actually try and find Rubino. Oh, looks the wrong way, though. That's going to leave him dead to rights. Dead to Rubino. And a reset has just hit Heroic hard.
Interesting round. Similar sort of situation for the setup, getting the mid-control, smoking off towards connector and window. But this time, the bounce flash towards short, pushes the CTs back, and that double orb setup doesn't really work out for the CTs there. He saw Snappy, not known to be the AWPer of the team, secondary for sure, as he gets in a panic at the van situation, can't land the shot, trying to do what he can with the no-scopes towards the apartments area. It's a decent split from Dignitas, and we talked about that reset potential. It's certainly come in, but they'll be able to get $1,900 next round, and you can see Val with 4K. They'll be back to the situation. It won't be fantastic. Freeze can get the AWP. He's got 4 as well. So it won't be terrible, but certainly not ideal. As Cajun B recovers an AWP for himself. It's round number 8, and just a PT50 purchase for the CTs. No need to overcommit at this point. You can just see them clearing out the initial aggression points of Terrorist, working the B apartments, holding Palace, watching for top and middle MSL, watching the underpass. All good so far, not giving anything away. No one needs to commit. Just see if you can just keep pushing forward as a unit and then presumably attack towards A, considering their positions right now.
Smoke lands from the boxes, top of middle, and that will allow MSL to start pushing in toward the connector. UMP in hand as it's Glaive. He was actually, I think, exposed. And X-ray is always misleading for us, but it's just a fraction of his foot that was showing, so it's not necessary with the swinging mechanics that he would have saw him. Either way, it doesn't matter. MSL's got the kill on Madi. And the one on Glaive before that makes the A site a good buy on the real estate market. They got it for cheap. It was just 60 HP was all they had to give up. Boost to see above that smoke does mean, well, if that guy's that tall, wait a minute, there's got to be one in front of me. And MSL looks directly down and finds him too. Stilts are not a thing you can buy in NCS yet. Don't give Valve any ideas.
One of those long coats and you go on each other's shoulders. Like, something's going on here. You guys sure you're over 18? Well, there it is. It's going to be 7-1, and Dignitas with a great start here on the T side especially as well. It's going to be an interesting buy. Like I said, there's something available for Heroic, but it's not much. It's going to be a UMP and a Famous or Snappy back to that sort of situation when they don't have head armor, a couple of kits lacking utility, Modi with no nades whatsoever. And there it is. That's what they needed. Someone needed to step up in this sort of tight situation. This is aggressive towards short as well. Snappy and Glaive with the rifles, getting a boost up over the smoke. And Freeze opening things up, taking down MSL.
So first and foremost, Freeze hits the shot finally from the connector, which he's not done in this fast mid control. But this is a response, as you say, boosting and more aggression towards Cat. They're almost going Tyloo-esque. I'm not going to say they're copying Tyloo because it's a hard one to replicate, but just that little bit more presence on Catwalk to disallow them. And the boost, specifically in Cinder Blocks, disallow them to wrap toward that ladder room. But Freeze hits another shot. Magiska's still going to win that battle against Snappy. And now he can start to probe out and push against Connector once more. They are still down considerably. 4 versus 2 as Modi gets a second into the round. And that's just gone, yep, I would say just about 56 seconds. He does have bomb. They've actually rotated off the B site, you know.
They have. He is legging it.
Surely they've got to rotate back at this point. Someone's got to go.
Someone will realize in about 5 seconds. Watch a mini-map.
I mean, they're pushing Horseshoe. Do they think they have bomb?
I don't know. About now, they should be gone. But he just can't believe his luck, can he? He's like, guys, you're actually letting me plant here.
There's nothing on radar. I mean, the good news is they'll be together on the retake. It's not like they can isolate to one-on-ones.
Get in the position, he gets 1 or 2 kills. That's enough. It's not a round win, but it's enough to take money away. And at this point, another reset potential, Matt.
Oh, this scares me. This is a very predictable.
I
know it works. It's great, but it is a predictable spot. He did have Glaive shooting at him. He manages to kill though. So, like you say, just to find 2, crossing back over. Freeze on the AWP. They tap the defuse. Ooh. There's the second kill. Config does very well, and I have to say, I don't know why the rotation didn't come in sooner from Heroic. I guess at this point, just get rounds, stick together, and they don't want to let them isolate, but it seemed a little obvious.
Having one, okay, that's fine, but you surely have one in kitchen, right? Just watching for the player coming in. You don't have to overcommit. You don't have to sit there and challenge him. You just watch him for the cross.
I think the potential for that was that Valda did get up toward Horseshoe, and maybe they didn't think that he'd already crossed because Valda would have expected to hear him or see him going to the apartments, but he just beat him to that position.
Still, after those 2 kills, it actually makes things very interesting. Another round where they've got nothing left after the reinvestment. So he didn't win the round, sure, but he did enough to make this game a little bit more precarious going forward. Heroic now have a UMP. They have got the AWP in the hands of Frizz, but he's actually going to be working in towards that window area again. But it's the UMP stepping up, and Frizz from the window area. MSL runs wildly out of underpass. He gets taken down. A lot of damage being inflicted to the rest of Dignitas as well. Config with an opportunity. But Freeze, you don't need to take these battles in middle, considering the situation. I would say that's a huge risk that you didn't need to commit to, but still, he survives. And Glaive finds another with the UMP, apparently. Rubino, not sure what that play was, but running out by yourself a Palace for a smoke is never recommended.
Well, 5 versus 2, and finally Heroic starting to come to life. 7 rounds already given up. It's Mirage. It's 2016. 8-7's not the end of the world, but it's not amazing either, considering they're already at 7, and you've still got to get the 8 if it ends that way. Config just a quick check into the corner and A-ramp. Magiska is watching the jump over top of jungle while the AWP is going to try and find the angle, but look at Glaive's timing.
Hello.
Just wait. 1, 2. Thank you very much. Round is over.
Well done.
Round over indeed.
7-3,
by the way. And okay, so we got to pause early. Is this going to be? It can't be tactical.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
They've lost 2 in a row. Maybe there's.
I guess they want to drive this home early on the first half.
The thing is, right, Freeze is starting to lock them down towards the middle, which was working so well before. When Dignitas had the money advantage, this is kind of similar scenes to what we saw on Cobble. They had that early lead, and then as soon as Heroic start buying into this properly, that's when they start getting back into the game.
14 kills for Config right now, leads the way, doubling pretty much anyone else on the server. Freeze on 8. Okay, math. It's not full double.
It's not full double.
But it is, I mean, it's an interesting time to call a timeout. We often talk about second half late in the game. You're starting to panic. Things are slipping.
Well,
even then, we'd say teams leave it late. So very early. And there is no 2 timeouts per team.
There is. For Danish teams, there is. It's a special rule.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, at least that's what I gathered from yesterday.
Really? Because actually, I'm trying to be clear for people who actually were confused by that. And now you're making it worse. So what happened was Na'Vi called 2 timeouts in their game against Astralis. So Astralis called 2 the next day. Kerrigan certainly likes to push rules where he sees a loophole. There's actually not, just to be clear. So this is the timeout gone. So they're using it very early, Dignitas. But as I said, it's 7 rounds already T-side. Maybe they know the situation, and if they think they can get up to 9 or 10, then they think they're in a great spot.
The question is there, Matt. Do 2 wrongs make a right?
I mean, it depends. How far wrong did you go? If you only went 90 degrees, then actually you've just gone 180 degrees wrong. But if you do 180 each time, then yeah, you're back to right.
That's exactly my point.
That's
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yep.
7-3. We're back into it. You can tell it's getting late. And number 11, we are an hour ahead of Europe here. Been a long week of CS, but actually one of the most memorable tournaments I can think of this year in terms of the quality and the excitement of these games so far.
And the storylines. God sent Na'Vi, Virtus Pro all out early.
Amazing. Well then, we did have a pause from Dignitas. Not picking up the AWP, definitely was room to buy one. And Snappy getting aggressive towards top middle, using that smoke to his advantage, giving him an opportunity to look towards the top of mid himself. Nothing really special coming to the table as of yet from Dignitas. After losing a couple of rounds in a row, Rubino back towards that Palace area. Occasion with the bomb by himself, actually going to be joined by Config now.
So Glaive's smart to anticipate the flash to go over that smoke to allow the cross, because most teams are duplicating that with, or adding that in tandem with the smoke now. Because if you can shoot underneath of that smoke with an AWP or the AK, if he's accurate enough, you cover off top middle, you kill them before they get to the boxes. So that quick little flash, he dodges it, but it does allow them to cross. However, he still gets the kill back into Cajun B. And another man advantage for Heroic after this early timeout from Dignitas. They took a gamble with this call. MSL, explosion out of top of the connector, and Glaive was not ready at all. I like this position from Maudie. It's not one you get away with often, but if they rush in, specifically where they've already got connector and not seen anyone else, they'll check Shadow maybe. With that smoke, he's going to bust through. Okay, he goes down ladder. That gives it away. If he had gone through the smoke and jumped into the site, Maudie was free.
Maudie's getting
clear,
away.
But he's still getting this. He's still finding kills. And MSL, he's locked into the site. Look at this. He's surrounded entirely. His teammate's gone down, and Maudie's done it from that position. 2 kills.
Well then, it was the initial frag going in favor of Dignitas, actually. We pointed out the position of Maudie. It looks like one of those positions when you're in it. You feel like you're good for 1 kill. If you get detected and don't kill anyone, you're going down straight away. There's nowhere to go once you're found out there. He gets the first kill. We saw Rubino smoke out from the Palace area. You can see Maudie adjusting his aim straight away. He knows how to play to get down towards beneath Shadow. Takes it down, finds a second as well, and his great maneuverability. We said his movement was great on Nuke, and once again managing to stay alive and just take the attention away from his teammates, and they come in and clear up. Aggressive from Glaive once again. Rapidly becoming one of my favorite players to watch, actually, as he gets taken down. Unfortunately for him, it's Dignitas find 2.
I mean, early tenure in Fnatic. Nice shot from Maudie again. And it was always said he was a very, very skilled player, but he was almost one of those players that was labeled as toxic early on, and a lot of people didn't want to play with him in Sweden. But now it's good to see him have a home with Danes, perhaps, as Free's going to take down Rubino. He'll burn immediately after, and Dignitas have a response. They're up to 8 rounds now on this T side. It took them 2 after the timeout, but again, they've kept these rounds so close. The money's not amazing on the CT side. This will be the last buy. If they lose here, they're broken. Snappy's got 76, and they've already got an AWP out. They won't go with 2. They have gone double up already in this game. They won't this time.
The double AWP setup was relatively successful for a round, I think, but then it went towards B, and Snappy couldn't hold them off. I think the best protocol right now is Freeze. He's having a decent game here on Mirage. Currently sat at the top of the scoreboard for the CTs with 10 kills. Goes in front of the smoke that's thrown towards short to take the vision away from window as well. He can actually catch players crossing over. The flashes will push him back. But just boy, been quiet for the last couple of rounds, but Freeze given an opportunity there to land a shot. Oh, okay. Whatever that was, through the smoke, of course, and speculative shot to say the least, but it does land.
Well, you miss every shot you don't take. Freeze takes a lovely one, and it's got a kill for them, so why not? It's going to slow down Dignitas again, who have won a round after losing 4. It's a reset potential. They want this catwalk. Finally, Snappy's going to win that duel. And they don't take ladder room as convincingly. They don't flash around the corner. They have a smoke there, and Snappy blinded both ways. MSL gets the kill, but it's traded by Volda. That leaves him outside of the van position, though, which means Magix is going to try and line it up. Volda goes back, and it's Freeze who hits the shot once more. Rubino versus the world.
Indeed. And it's a cruel world. There's 4 players waiting with guns to take him down, and he still hasn't got the bomb picked up. Freeze, pretty simple frag for him to finish things off here. Heroic doing what they can on the CT half. They have lost the half, but that's actually quite a hard reset for Dignitas here. You can see them struggling for cash. I think they'll probably have a little partial round to take into round number 15. This was the shot through the smoke map.
Lovely.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a lineup at that point. You're using the surrounding area and the connector to know exactly what the corner of that pass, at the corner of the top of the middle is. fire off every now and then. It's going to hit sometimes.
I think that every single player that plays the game and plays the spot commonly
Yeah,
should always, know the spots. Like, there's ways, for example, if you're a young player that wants to learn a little more, there's always a smoke on that corner. If you go in connector, find somewhere you can preset your crosshair to and strafe over and just shoot. There's ways to do it as well with the Molotov coming out of Palace that goes down to Shadow, but Valda is finally getting a chance to shine inside of B. He only shines good enough for one before Cajun B hits him with a lovely deagle shot. No smoke, those. So Cajun B has one, but they don't elect to put it inside of the site for the fast plant, and he's not going to put it out now. He's going to save it for post if they get that far, and they will. Freeze goes down. Now he's got a chance to use it, but where is he going to? It's going to be the flank rotation coming through the apartments, and is Cajun B aware that he's even picked up that smoke? Because he's certainly holding on to it a little bit longer here. You would have thought he would have put it out to hold the CTs off by now. Big
round here for Dignitas. Didn't invest much into it, but a chance in the 2-on-2. The CT's coming in. The pincer maneuver from Short and Kitchen. It's Glaive who's going to be found first by Rubino. If he can land a deagle headshot, there's a real chance, but Modi, he gets the headshot. Glaive chiming in as well, working together as a unit, fighting for the defuse, but it's going to be Glaive that picks it up, smiling as he does it.
I didn't catch if Cajun B perhaps picked that smoke up on the way into the site because they didn't throw it to execute from courtyard, and he definitely didn't use it in post plant, so he may not have realized that he picked that up.
He could have thrown that towards the kitchen and
actually 100%.
Been very effective, or even towards the apartment area, but a close round nonetheless, and Dignitas can't pick it up. Heroic fight back in that 2-on-2. That's superior firepower and greater positioning as they go into round number 15 here. That was an EK for Dignitas before, I guess a partial buy. So they get 5 AKs, and we haven't seen this as of yet. The full AX here at the start of the round. There will be one player towards the top of mid. That's MSL. He'll be coming in for the backstab or potentially just holding off rotations. He does a lot of damage towards Frisk in the connector. Okay, that actually helps out Cajun get that shot.
Well, yeah, double cross. It nearly cost them, but it is Cajun to pull back 2. Madi, the second one. He's been large and in charge inside of that A site. Glaive wants to push back in. No smoke at bench, but it is the mid-site smoke. It's not the wall of China. You don't have the bench smoke. Which, by the way, to clarify, the Tyloo smokes are a different version of what people were saying was the Kaboom smokes. They don't smoke triple, they smoke bench, but it doesn't matter. They get concealed within the mid-site that time. Cajun's on 2, and Magisk is on 9. And Snappy, he's taking config to 0, so there's actually more HP between the 2 players remaining on CT than there are on the 3 of Dignitas, but they can set up angles, they can set up crossfires, and they can hold Valda off this bomb. He spotted one toward Tetris. Surely, they're both there. That's dangerous considering how low they are on HP, but it's Cajun B with the high ground. And he hears Snappy looking for his teammate. MSL's going to win it. 9-6 T-sided half for Dignitas after a great start and an early timeout to try and adapt.
Yeah, you could see them actually controlling the economy game, like we said before. Similar scenes to the first map. It's them winning the pistol and the first gun round when the CTs were limited. They went up, what, 6-0? At one point, I think it was 6-1. Sorry, that's when the reset came in. But once the money stabilized for Heroic, you saw them have some really decent rounds there. Frisk, he's top of the scoreboard. He's actually nailing most of the shots at the start of rounds and close-range encounters as well, which we normally call him out for not being amazing at. Glaive, solid as usual, and Modi with some good moments towards A. It's the pause coming in, like you said. Heroic bounced back after that, needless to say, but Dignitas has to finish things off. 9-6, decent first-half score, especially on the T side. Why is he the sniper again? He's got 0 AWP kills. Surely that's a sign.
I'm not 100% sure. It's definitely Cajun B, but Cajun B, speaking of, was the best player against Freeze, who is the AWP player on Heroic side. However, Cajun B, they didn't really run a T-sided op that often. He got a lot of his kills on the AK.
Yeah. Well, we'll welcome that graphic for tomorrow.
Magisk, well, if they make it through this game, we may not have to worry about that.
Who knows? But they're winning so far.
Speaking of, we're back into what will be our last half of the evening, and one of these 2 teams' last half of the tournament. It's 4 sets of armor and MSL on a kit. Meanwhile, it's the same as basically what Dignitas did on their pistol round. It's 3 armors and 2 utility players. Molotov left over for Valda. That could be used in the post plant. They've got 5 versus 5 and a bomb down. Watch the flank, but 2 going back toward A main. No, this won't be easy for Config. Glaive, they're going to hold him out. Double peek. Freeze goes down in the air, and Glaive's unable to follow it up. Now he will.
Solid work from Glaive, but he's not out of the woods just yet. The CT's coming in thick and fast. A bomb is going to be smoked as well. Glaive finds a headshot. And it's just kills all over the place. And there it is. Modi stepping up in the final situation. Gets 2 Glock headshots there.
Fakes that he's leaving that firebox and running for his life and instantly turns back on them in the smoke.
Seemed like it was going to be a successful CT retake at that point, but unfortunately, Modi is stepping up. Close range situation. The smoke actually made things a little bit more confusing. As it is 9-7 now. Dignitas once again losing their lead. Similar scene to what we saw on Nuke, to be fair. And it probably will tie it to be 9-9. They're not actually force buy in the second. They want to make sure they have everything they need in that first gun round.
So Glaive now will get down toward the bottom of middle. He's got that AK. He's threatening config with it. Heroic can bring this to nines, and Glaive through the wooden wicket window. It's going to be a shot into the head of config, and Cajun B, he won't get there in time to do anything of it with the CZ79, CZ75. Why not? We'll give it the 4 extra. It's improved slightly.
Sadika's edition.
Yeah, probably miss every shot if it's my edition. Magic's going to fall down inside of the site. Teagle doesn't find one from him, but it does from MSL. They've got a lineup on this Dignitas. They're walking in. They've not cleared off angles, and Maudie, he's going to have to be a hero once more. They've got it back down to a 2 versus 2. They've still got the weapons. There's no kits, and now they've got the man advantage. They may just get away with this, but not without spending some cash in the process. Maudie's going to go for the plant, low HP, but he's got a round. Maudie's both low. The Deagle, all it needs to do is hit the shots, but he's got to reload. Oh, that's so unfortunate, and Maudie saves the day, but a little bit of luck to help him do so.
4 HP for Maudie. It was very, very close indeed. Rubino, he actually strikes. He hears the bomb going down. He knows the player's low towards bench as well. He's probably not going to phase his Magisboy that does all the hard work in this scenario. Nails these shots. MSL chimes in as well. Intense situation. Just about get through it. 4 HP separating the Taz from not much invested into that round. Just a couple of Deagles could have converted it to a victory. Round number 18. This is the full eco now. So a chance to breathe, a chance to let these back 10s and UMPs do some work, farm some cash that was lost in the previous. But the game starts once again as we get into the next round. That first cover will be very important. CT, though, good news is they didn't force into that second round. Managed to find some kills as well. At least they'll have a stronger buy than what Heroic brought to the table.
Yeah, that's potential force such an occurrence is freeze. No gap in that smoke is going to converge with Snappy on a hard left turn up toward the A site, where MSL does do decent damage to start things off. Snappy's down to 17 on that, and he's going to line up onto freeze. Watch this position as well from config. He's starting to second guess it, but it's Cajun B laid out from that window. They never check it in. The P250 config, that was fairly close and almost mischievous in the fact that it looked like it would line up, but Maudie is having a heck of a game as they change their plans back over to the B site. Cajun B, he's rotated back from this window, but he'll die inside of the site to the hands of Alda, and he's slowly walking around to get a second kill on Magisk. MSL, though, the low HP picked up. It's 1 versus 2. He's got an AK, no armor. Watch aim punch, which is definitely a factor as Valda finds him first.
These rounds have been pretty close here for Dignitas. I'm able to actually convert them to victories. We're doing damage to the economy nevertheless, and we've got something going on here. There's a technical pause. Apparently, Cajun B had the rates of 64 instead of 128. So he's actually essentially playing a 64-tick server there instead of...
Valve said they wanted it to be fair and the same experience that you get at home, Henry. So we know that.
So he's been playing the whole game like that and he's just realized?
Well, he had a heck of a first half, if that's the case. The guy's a matchmaking god.
Yeah.
He's a better matchmaker than Red Eye.
I'm not sure who makes him more of an advantage or a disadvantage to you. It means he's only sending 64 ticks second to the server. It means he might be more difficult to hit.
Or is he registering 64 what they fired him? No, I think it would be him registering to the server at 64, so it's disadvantage to him. I think. You could be right, but I'm pretty sure. Someone who's technical will definitely know.
Well, here we go. The crowd are starting to come to life.
10 people.
The 10 people. It is late, to be fair. We are 2 hours ahead of the UK, at least. It's just gone midnight. And with the CSI teams knocked out, it's...
yeah, that's one of the big things here. They are very loyal to their teams. So the crowd will be a little bit diminished before we even get into the auditorium from that sense.
Yeah.
Well, it all resided with Flipside, but it's MSL to take down Glaive. And we'll see if Cajun B is back in our world. They've got the advantage to work with for him to try and build off of. No AWP on this CT side, but just boy. Smoke thrown through window, nade as well, or rather, excuse me, flashbang as well, and now a little hop, skip, and a dance to see if anyone's walking down the corridor. But nobody wants in toward his house just yet. Mid's been the name of the game so far for both teams, really.
Absolutely. Both these teams with very similar play styles, coming from the same regions, playing against each other a lot. You can see them sharing a lot of same tendencies.
There was a time when SK was the farm team to Dignitas, he was the farm team to Astralis, and now they all seem so close together.
It's balanced out quite nicely, hasn't it?
It has. I actually really like it. It makes things more interesting. Domestic rivals, they'll grow together, and, well, it levels out the playing field across the board for all of Europe in that sense. Freeze deep inside the site, but it's Config who finds him back, and he was threatening to hold off Cajun B from walking back toward the site. Now, however, it's going to be Snappy to put down the bomb with 22 seconds. Cajun's late on the peak, gets there now, but Snappy, he'll get around the corner first, and Config wants to peek back out. He's so low on HP. Maudy's got Magisk Boy. Down goes Config, and the round that Dignitas looked like they had control of, Cajun's going to have to pull back. We'll see if the rate fix is going to give him better chances as he spots Maudy toward Tetris, finds it, but Snappy's just too far in the corner. He peeks out a little bit early, and he's got the kill back.
Well, there it is, the first gun round going in favor of Heroic. It's now 4-0. Feels all too familiar from what we saw on Nuke, to be fair. Dignitas arriving in the second half, and I think we have another pause coming in.
It might be a similar issue, perhaps.
No, technical. Well, it's technical. Sound.
For
Heroic.
Okay, so this is their first tech, actually, of the series, because we had a technical for Dignitas for sound. Don't quote me. One of the first two maps, and then we obviously had Cage in last round. So this is their first time, and I do believe it's Freeze that has it. Is that correct?
Something like that. Anyway, let's have a look at the money for Dignitas after losing that first gun round. Difficult pill for them to swallow, considering the scoreline now. Heroic have taken the lead after Dignitas had a pretty overwhelming first half. 4-0 now, and Heroic with a ton of cash going forward. It's going to be a partial buy by the looks of things for Dignitas. CZ's Desert Eagles. They did try holding them off with their mid approach from Heroic, getting towards connectors, splitting the A side, and just hitting every single shot. The cities did what they could, but just couldn't hold them off in that instance. And the unpause comes in. We're not going to be waiting too long. The best players so far, Modi and Config. Modi with probably the best performance we've seen in CSGO from him this tournament. Very, very impressive, I'd say.
Very long time for, yeah. I don't know about all together.
Not all the time, that's unfair, but
yeah.
maybe in the last year or so.
Definitely in the last year or so, but it's hard to think back as far as he's been around, to be fair. So
you're thinking back to like the early Fnatic days with him.
2012,
CSGO,
2013,
right?
yeah. Rubino with his back turned, indicating a flash coming. His teammate's already in there. Config's already got the kill on Valda, so he was just waiting for Madi to push through. Dignitas starting off well with these pistols, have an AK to work with, but they have to confront the man we said is red hot. Speaking of hot, it's Flames toward the apartment. Config fights forward of them, and he's got Madi down, so very well done from Config. The two best players, as they just highlighted, with some notions of motions early in this round. It's Snappy to pull back onto Cajun, though, and that will start to favor Heroic.
It will, and Dignitas have made a pretty good go of all of these eco rounds themselves. It comes down to another 3 on 2. Yeah, every single one's coming down to like 2-on-1s, and they're getting it down to very close and tight situations. Not been comfortable for Heroic, not able to farm catch, and once again, Magisk Boy, hell of a shot there with the Desert Eagle, takes down Fritz, and now it is a 2-on-2, a chance for them to try once again.
Oh, this has slowed them down, though. And you think this is so clever from Config. He's gone underpass. He's going to walk up, and they're actually waiting. 2 AK Snappy, peeks out, shot down, AK gone. Now the question is, where's the rotation go from here? Is it going to go back to the A site or not? Because Magisk Boy's let off of the B site. He's still only limited to that Deagle. If he can beat them to the A site, there are guns down. But he anticipates that with that kill, they'll surely go B, and they're not. So, as you say, I mean, that's a very good point. And it's not as fast-paced as what we saw in the French game, but it's strategic, and some of these rounds are closer than what we saw in the French game, and the fact that as soon as Dignitas win one here, we're going to have a broken economy on their Heroic side.
Magisk Boy, a chance to spam the Deagle for the smoke and try and deny the plant. Doesn't go for it. Trying to go for the stealth option here, as he is flashed out, but
no
still
kit.
A low chance of doing something with this round. Very low chance.
Glaive tries to bait him either way. Snappy's in shadow. Now he's spotted, and now he's dead.
Snappy, 3 kills in that round. And now things really start to get interesting, getting to the final stages here. Whoever loses this game is out of the tournament. The winner progresses to the semi-finals here, the 300k tournament here at StarLadder. It's been a while since we've seen a Danish team, other than Astralis, make it this deep into a big tournament like this. And it's definitely going to be an interesting affair considering they're knocked out. It's one of these boys going through, guaranteed to have a Danish team in the semis.
Glaive around the corner at top mid does hit MSL with a quick, convincing shot. Missed throw from Madi on that flash. The Flames in front, he won't be able to get around the corner. Config will take back connector as a result of all of this. Without that presence on the A site, they're rotating back over though, and he's going to push up the top of middle, which means it's just going to be Rubino right now inside of the A site.
Yeah, and he's been having a poor game so far. This series has been quiet for him overall. Up against a 5-man attack from Heroic, I'm not sure he's the man to hold them off. He's got one flashbang, an M4 to do it. His teammates are pretty far removed from this situation. No AWP to rotate into him. What can he do?
I would love to see him play reverse firebox right now, but he wants to get aggressive and hold them for the rotations. Madi, he's got flames all around him. He can't push through on this, so Rubino does well to get one, and that's going to allow these rotations, but the smokes are out through it. Cajun B does good damage. It's Glaive and Volda. They've got less HP combined than the 3 left, and look at Config's timing. We said he was pushing up middle. He gets 2 immediately before getting canceled out by Madi, who's now gone down to Magisk. Dignitas finally get over the hurdle and pick up a round and a half, and as I mentioned, the money, it's going to be close. They can force into this with, well, they will. They'll go all in. No, they not yet. They actually are going to sit and wait on this T side. I thought they would have a little bit more to work with.
Config, the hero of that round. It looked pretty bleak at one point. Rubino there by himself was managing to get 1 kill, and his teammates rotating in, spraying through the smoke as Cajun B, the headshots too, I think, and Config from T-Spawn times it to perfection as well. There was so much chaos going on the A-bomb site. He's able to come in and clear up from the back and give Dignitas another lifeline here, and it's going to be a full eco, like he said. Modi with the P250. Dignitas now a chance to get back into this. I'm pretty sure we're going to see 11-11. Magisk can smell the terrace on the other side. A 5-man spray down, definitely possible.
It just needs to run because he's got the flash on. He needs to get behind this little broken wall at the bench into the jail cell. Thankfully, MSL is more than willing to protect him, but a bomb plant out of that is pretty good from Heroic.
Considering they just had Glocks and a P250, that's not bad.
As you say, though, that was Dignitas' way. Guess what, Henry? It's 11-11. We always arrive
We finally got it.
Well, you say finally. We had it a few times this week, to be
Have
fair. We've had it quite a few. We always do. But the one round, and it breaks the economy. So the bomb down is going to get them more guns back out on this T side a little bit sooner. But for Dignitas, is that all they needed was just that little bit? And, I mean, keeping every round close, you have to give them credit in that regard.
Well, once again, these Danish derbies, and I guess the nation derbies as a whole, do provide very close games. Dignitas getting into the second half now, and aggressive. They were being assertive this time, hunting for the frags, not allowing Heroic to have the full control of the situation. Cajun B from the window. He's going to bring it into a 5-on-3. Val knows he's got a lot of work to do here. Going to be trying to get his way towards Connector, scout out and see what's available for himself. At this point, though, Dignitas don't need to commit whatsoever. They've done the hard work now.
And that's very good situational awareness from Cajun B. That doesn't need to be communicated. 2 players up mid. The only place after they get that first kill they're going to be vulnerable from is underpass. So he just sits in window, watches it, jumps out, gets his second kill from Snappy, who thinks there's a hint of a chance, a scent of it in the air that he might be able to pull those kills back, and he gets punished for doing so. They have still managed to get up onto Catwalk toward this ladder room, though, and we know exactly what Dignitas was able to exploit with this in the first half, but usually when they got here, they still had the numbers advantage to work with.
Huge opportunity here for Dignitas to take the lead once more. It's been a rough second half, but 2 rounds in a row, and this advantage as well. They've been adjusting their plays to that aggressive stance. You could see Heroic weren't expecting it. They don't have the AWP to try and get themselves back into this. So Glaive boosted up towards short. Does spot Magisk Boy, but a perfectly placed incendiary doesn't work out for him, so he faces after it. I thought that was a waste time, but Glaive stepping up once again, finds 2 shots to the B site, and all of a sudden it's squared out again as Val with a great position and a fantastic shot, half blind as well.
They've just snapped this back. 5 versus 3, and Dignitas concede that mid control. They get toward the B site, and Cajun B's got a lot of work to do. He's waiting as well for his teammate Rubino to get in position on the catwalk. That should expose Volda, and it will. He's going to shuffle over into Cajun's crosshair. Now Rubino just needs to stay alive to give him a chance for Cajun to find where Madi's gone, but a lovely placed bullet again. Rubino will find Glaive. It's a one-on-one. They know where each other are. It's a heads-up match. There's a kit for Rubino, but there's a kill for Madi.
Madi getting pumped there. That's a big round for them to pick up. A 5-on-3 thrown away from Dignitas, Matt. You have to say that was a questionable decision from MSL at that point. I said at the time he throws the perfect incendiary, almost too perfect. It locked him out for another 10 seconds potentially there. He faces as soon as he throws it, and Val's not even stood in the fire at that point. It's not deep enough to actually lock them out that much. He gets the first shot. That's the entry he needs, and finds another towards the kitchen. It was Glaive that did that. It was Val who found the shot towards the kitchen, but still, MSL just didn't have to face it. Such a huge advantage. They throw it away, make them commit towards the bomb sites before you're given the opportunities.
And Magisk now as well back toward this B site. Dignitas, they've got one more buy left in them after all these close rounds. So too with Heroic, to be fair.
Yeah.
It comes the economy game. It always is. When we hit the 11-11 scoreline, usually it entails we're close in money as well.
True. Dignitas got 2 rounds in a row. They have been reset at this point. They have 1 buy left, but it's weak. 5 M4s, 1 kit, a couple of smokes remaining, some flashbangs, no orbs, 1 incendiary. This will be a potential double eco situation for them if they lose this round. So a turbulent time for Dignitas, who just lost the lead. Someone needs to be stepping up here. Nothing really gathered as of yet. MSL towards short, but his teammate Cajun B has gone down. Freeze once again finds the opening kill here on Mirage.
Just watch Cajun get wrecked from a third party, an innocent bystander's perspective. As now they've got Snappy on 15 short, but Glaive up toward jungle. They've got map control to work with, but they've got a lineup for Rubino. He's got 2 back. He finally falls to Monty, who seems to always be Johnny on the spot. It's a 2 versus 2, mind you, and it's going to be Magisk Boy that's going to try and cover this off. Monty wants to get to the default triple box. That gives spray potential to, oh, even better, it gives Molotov potential, and Monty's got to get away. He's got 27 HP. He's going to leave him in the open, but again, he hits a nice shot. He's got 5 HP. And MSL doesn't know that he's crossed back the triple. Bomb's going to go down. MSL's got 100 HP in this, but somehow you still think Monty's got a chance. Crosshair placement directly toward the first position he would show himself from, but 5 HP and in the open, MSL does manage to pull it back. We're going 12-12.
So many close situations here. People seem to be stepping up every single round. It's a different name lighting up the scoreboard. This time, it's Rubino, caught on the balcony as well. I thought he was done for. He manages to find 2 kills and damages the 3rd as well. It's enough for his teammates to get in a situation where they have a clutch possibility. This time, MSL can outdo Modi, who's been having a great game so far, but just 5 HP. He gets the plant down. It's another reset. This just seems like a backward and forward game in terms of the economy. So another eco. Historically, on this map, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can get the plant down once again. To be fair, they haven't invested much at all. Just a Tech 9, a PT-50, and 3 Glocks. So pretty redundant round. And once again, Dignitas will take the lead. Overtime written all over this map. I'm going to call it now.
It certainly feels it. Imagine that. We get the Danish Derby. We get all 3 maps, and then we've got an overtime potential. Rubino doesn't want it to go that far, nor to Cajun B, or Config, for that matter, who continues to have a good game, and that is a very convincing sweep. Clean, open and close shut case in a 13th round. Now for Dignitas, it's them in the lead. It's been the first time in the second half they've had it. They had a 9-6 first half, and then it went flat.
Round number 26. We'll have a look at the buy coming in for the terrorists. That eco does allow them to have a bit more going into this round. 5 AKs, no orbs available on either side. This goes to show how close it is. No one can get those big weapons out. It's going to be the CTs with a Famous and the aggressive stance once again. Conflict spots through towards top and middle. It's the UMP backing him up. They can't do the damage initially, but Glaive goes down to 12 HP. They're going to have to fall back. The attacked for Heroic. 4 smokes, a Molotov, and flashbangs as well. It's not ideal, but certainly enough to play with to do the simple executions, which they've been showing to do towards B. You can smoke off middle, the window area connector. And the bombs them down towards the B apartments for now. Snappy with control of the B halls, and Magisk Boy, he'll be holding it. It's here. The money now. 2.5k average for Heroic. They're 1 round away from Dignitas making series point, semi-final point. Pressure applied now. What's the play? Do you allow them to get to that point, or force in with the Tech 9s, Galils, and see what's available here? They've taken the tactical pause to discuss it. I can see the chat.
Hard to beat. It's Kerrigan versus Fnatic, MLG Columbus. When Fnatic said before the quarter...
Right. It's been a crazy game, so anything could happen here. 2 weapons, going to be a Galil and a UMP, and 3 Tech 9s. Limited in terms of grenade, maybe just focusing towards B. That's where they'll be heading. And once again, it's up to Magisk Boy to hold them off.
Magisk going to rotate around. He actually works it perfectly. He times it so he's not seen. Pops out as soon as they drop in. Madi does, again though, come up large and in charge, but look at Dignitas. Look at the kills, the flames, and everything. It's just Glaive. It's down in its map. It's series point for Dignitas, and they look amped as ever. Remember how pumped they were when they stole the first map away.
Yeah.
I got to give credit to Madi just while we've got a chance before this potentially could end here. He's played excellent.
Yep, I agree. And I can't wait to see. I'm going to turn around as soon as they win, because I want to see Rubino and co absolutely explode here when they win the game. Well, okay, I won't get too excited. If they win the game, get the camera on them. Is this going to mean so much to them? It's been so long since we've seen the likes of Cajun B towards this sort of stage of a tournament. This team's still fairly new. It'll be an amazing achievement for them to actually make the semi-final. Very close to doing it right now. 4 Tech 9s and an AK. It's all that separates them. And 1 round. 5 kills will do it.
Tech9's indeed. Config facing lower. Smoke out. This is by design. Rather than get aggressive at top mid, let's try something a little bit different.
But at least they're playing to win at this point. They're still being assertive. They're hunting for kills here. They're not just going to sit back and wait for an execution to come in. They want to find that first kill. And Config wants to do it by himself.
Wow.
Flash comes in. This could be perfect. Gets flashed in. Gets one. Looking for the second. This could be it. Config with an amazing performance in MSL. He helps him out as well with the rotations, but he's not done just quite yet. That's going to do it. Config, 3 headshots with the AK-47. Modi, 4 versus 1. Bomb down. This is it, unless he can find some sort of unbelievable form. Config wanted to win it by himself, flashed in by his teammate, and that's going to be it.
That's lovely. And Madi, you say unbelievable form. He's had that, but this is a whole other level as he spots one at window. He's not willing to go gentle into this good night. He's got to try and push it. He's got to do everything he can. You can see the contemplation. He looks depressed almost about it, but he'll still push as much as he can into the connector. No one watching from Catwalk. He actually could isolate Cajun in this play, but Cajun's got the jump, and there it is. You said Rubino would explode. Dignitas have the series and the semifinal. They were the sleeper Danish team in this.
Absolutely.
Quietly worked into this. 16-3, they got destroyed by Godsent, and they've come alive throughout the course of this week. And they will be the top-placed Danish team. And a team effort indeed.
Great series overall. Great CS, great rivalry. And Dignitas, out of all the teams attending here at this event, probably towards the bottom of everyone's list, and they've just booked themselves a place in the semi-final. Heroic actually having such an amazing start. They go 2-0 at the start of the tournament. Astralis, one of the bigger names here, they're out. It's these boys that have made it.
And they've got to be looking confidently at that.
Yeah.
It's G2, sure, they were on form, but they got ran by Envious. Now it is a domestic battle, and Shocks did go nuts, but you've got to find a way to look into this. And sure, they didn't win Nuke, but we also know G2's not great on it. Maybe they can throw a curveball back into that. I don't necessarily know if I want to see that or not, but it's something they could look at. And if they're confident with it, maybe they try and find a way under G2.
Rubino stepping up towards the end of that series as well. A player who was struggling tremendously on the first and second map, quiet on the third, but the rounds that really counted, the ones that won them the game, this series, he found form. And that's all that counts at the end of the day. If you're winning games and you can do something for your team, even if you're having a bad day, that's enough. So I tip my hat to him. I think we have an interview coming in very shortly. That's just being set up.
Yeah, they're still packing their gear and getting absolutely pumped. Steppin's on the stage waiting, but we're not sure who's going to go speak to him. I wouldn't mind if it was Rubino, considering
I think he normally does it,
well,
he?
he took some time off. And
is it Rugger he's doing out?
No, he's just outside the booth. He hasn't gone over. But I mean, Rubino, it'd be interesting to hear from him just because, as you say, he was very emotionally invested. And he took some time off to reset himself. And we will hear from him. The beard's been shaved, and he's had an excellent game. So over to Steppin on the stage. It's the last series, the last semifinalists. G2, they play tomorrow.
So it was so long game, you know. Maybe if we can just calculate number of rounds for all of this tournament, is the longest game. What can you say about so hard a game for you?
Playing versus a Danish team is always hard because they know how we play and we know how they play. Everything is about who has the day, to be honest, and who plays best together. We lost some crucial rounds that we never should have lost, like 2 and 5s and such. But in the end, we calmed down and won the important rounds and won the game.
Okay, as I know, 2 weeks ago or something like this, it was a big LAN tournament in Denmark, and they were at that moment the best. Can you say that right now you are the best team from all of the Danish teams, or not?
I wouldn't say so. We still struggle versus Astralis. Heroic beats Astralis, so it's really, really random. Some teams, like Heroic is really good versus Astralis, but they have more problems versus us, it seems like. So I think like the 3 teams are really, really close together, and I think it takes more time to say that anyone is the best team in Denmark right now.
Okay, let's say something. You are the best team at the moment, right now on this stage.
Well, I don't like to be cocky and say such, but at least we won this match today, and we showed that we were stronger right now, at least.
Okay, at least. And one more question. On your opinion, who was the best in your team in all of these games, except you?
It's really, really hard to say. I think like everyone played at the potential. Some really good clutches. So I think like everyone was playing really good, but I would say that KGB probably was my favorite in this game. He won like really good clutches, like the 1-on-4 or 1-on-3 on cobblestone, and I think like he's doing a really really good job, and I'm really glad that I have him on my team.
Thank you for your time. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow. Guys, we will see you tomorrow because tomorrow we will provide you interesting show game between West and East, between all Chinese casters and the casters of English and Russian broadcasting shows. Right now, after short break, we will back to you guys.
Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CSGO Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Cloud9, Ninjas in Pajamas, G2, and Team Dignitas are our guaranteed top four at Star Series Season 2. What a way to go through to the semi-finals. We're going to break down our last quarterfinal of the night in just a moment, and of course, let you know exactly what's coming up tomorrow. Day 5, the final day of Star Series Season 2. We're back on our panel right now with Yanko, with Launders, and with Vendetta. A great victory for Dignitas, Yanko. Really, almost like, it feels like a prominent moment for them. There's a lot of teams have fallen away here. A lot of big teams have been eliminated, but they've stood up and they've been counted.
Yes, and it was a grind, as we were talking about, that Heroic is not going to get blown out of the server. And I think